about to be obsolete.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. This is Bradley Benner with Semantic Mastery, and Marco Benavides is with us as well. It's just the two of us again today. We're going to update you guys on some stuff. Marco's going to take the lead, but it's mainly about how to get the most power and best practices for RYS drive stacks. But we're also going to talk about how to increase the power of syndication networks using drive stacks and vice versa. Because I think that's really important as well. And I also want to give a quick update about the Blogger recipe or applet, I should say, because a lot of people have been saying that it hasn't been working, and I tested it today and it works. So I don't know what the problem is, but I'm going to give you some alternatives. But before all that, what's up, Marco? How are you?
Well, this webinar has got to be important because I got my cam on. The motherfucker is on. I'm ready. I'm aggressive. I was listening to metal. I'm ready to go, man. I'm ready to kill something. I don't know what, but I'm ready.
So before we get into it, just real quick, guys, as you see, you can view the webinar, but you can't chat or post any comments unless you register. And that's because we've had some trolls out there that have spammed our chat box for the last week multiple times. And so we had to initiate some chat rules in order to reduce that. I don't understand why people are going to would want to ruin a good thing, like having a good webinar out there with good information. But this is the internet. People do that shit. So unfortunately, we had to even take the chat box down entirely until today, just because we had the same assholes posting nasty shit on it over and over again. So anyways, that said, you have to register in order to be able to comment. Otherwise, you can still watch, which is perfectly fine. We welcome you guys to be here. Obviously, we enjoy doing this kind of stuff. But, when we have assholes out there trying to just ruin a good thing, our alternative was shut it down entirely, but that wouldn't work. So we just had to initiate some rules. So anyways, that said, Marco, I guess real quick before we get deep into it, I just want to point out that we've had a couple comments, people saying that the RSS applet for Blogger isn't working, but I just tested it today. I mean, I could show the test, but it works. At least it works for me, which I can't imagine why it wouldn't work for everybody else. But because I just published actually all I did was copied a press release and posted it to my blog, the blog of my new business, just because I haven't really been doing any blogging over there. And I just published a post and went into IFTTT and clicked the check now button for the Blogger recipe or applet. I keep saying recipe. That's what it used to be called. And it did publish. It took about 10 minutes or so, but it did publish. And it's live. All the links syndicated. Everything looks good. I embedded a map. The map embed syndicated. I embedded an image that was hot linked to my Google business site, GMB business site, and that linked. That image posted, and everything looks good. So I don't know what the problem is, but for those of you that are experiencing an issue with that, there's a couple things that I would recommend. Number one, go into the applet. Reconnect, or excuse me, go in the IFTTT and reconnect the Blogger channel. So all you got to do is go to settings or to channels or whatever, click on Blogger and then click settings and then do a reconnect or reauthorization or whatever. Try that. You can also, that's what I would try first because it's RSS feed. So you don't really connect the RSS channel. All you do is add that in the field when you create the applet. So I would reconnect the Blogger channel and then test it again. If that doesn't work, then set it up as a secondary syndication applet. So what I mean by that is go in and use, instead of the RSS2, like using the RSS as the trigger, use one of your other blog properties from the syndication network as the trigger. So either use Tumblr or WordPress, or if you've got others attached, I don't know of any others that attach, but what you can do is actually use the WordPress, the attached, or the channel that's activated, the WordPress channel that's activated in IFTTT, or that's WordPress.com typically, or Tumblr, and use either one of those as the trigger. So if WordPress or if Tumblr, then and then select Blogger and just set up the applet the same way to where you're just basically republishing the content. Then what it'll do is it will actually go, when you publish content to your blog, the RSS will update or syndicate to Tumblr and or WordPress. And then Tumblr and or WordPress will then publish to Blogger. As opposed to being RSS fed, it will be fed directly from that particular Web 2.0 channel. Does that make sense? So again, if you're experiencing trouble, the best thing to do is just reconnect the Blogger channel first. If that does not work or does not fix your problem, then just use either Tumblr or WordPress or one of your other blog channels that are connected as a syndication point as the trigger for the new applet that will republish to Blogger, and that should solve your problem. So there's always a workaround. I know too many people that just, well, the RSS doesn't work anymore, so I'm just not going to use it, or it's useless. Come on, guys. Like, put a little bit of effort into it and figure out a workaround, and that's a very simple workaround, all right? So with that said, Marco, I'm going to turn it over to you, and we'll get into it.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can.
All right, cool. So first of all, sporting my Pofu Live 2018. It's about to be obsolete, so had to wear it live. Okay, so where do we start? How about we dispel some myths, rumors, idle chatter, and bitch talk that has been going on around the web, but practically since the inception of RYS Academy and then later on RYS Academy Reloaded. Main question, is it still working? You're fucking right, it's working. And sometimes it works better than it has. I mean, up to this point. For the purposes that we're using it for now, let me quantify and clarify that. Because we used to be able to rank like empty folders for some pretty competitive keywords. We can't do that anymore. Not an empty folder. You have to push a whole lot of power into your drive stack before you can go back to doing that. It can still be done, but the power that's required is just a whole bunch of power. So is it still working? Well, according to ninjas, gurus, experts, and people who are in the lab testing, a single variable testing, mind you, have said, no, it's not. Well, any of you who are using these methods and are using them the way that we teach, are using them to push power to whatever the destination is, and you're stacking press releases, and you're pushing link building not only to your press releases, but into your drive stack and your G site, you're damn right it's working. And it pushes power, and if you've set up your silo correctly, and I can't get into this too much because this is a free webinar. It turned out it was going to be an update RYS Reloaded webinar. What I could have gone more in depth into this, or maybe mastermind, but it's not something that I'll talk too much outside the mastermind. But anyway, what you have to do on your website is set up your silos correctly, and how you set those up is going to dictate how the power flows and whether the power flows the way that it's supposed to. And if it isn't set up correctly, then what you're going to hope, you have to go back to what I like to call Jackhammer Seo, where you just blast it and blast it and blast it until you get past that point. You know, Google pushes back and you blast it, and Google pushes back. It gets to the point where you feed it so much information during so much time that you just overpower it. So it's what I call the art of art: activity, relevance, trust, and authority. You get enough of that going, and I know for a fact that art trumps anything and everything that there is on the web. Anything negative that Google can throw at you, it'll trump it. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people out there are saying that they're single variable testing RYS Academy and drive stacks and all this shit, and that it doesn't work. Well, you fucking idiot. A drive stack, by definition, cannot be a single variable. It's multiple variables, guys. Any of you, and I'm going to show that in a little bit, any of you who have seen a drive stack, who have seen how we put it together, knows that if you separate it, then you're separating the power that you push. You're cutting it. So how in the fuck can you test a single variable when you have multiple variables involved? Even if you go to a single document, right, and you test the methods according to what we teach, there's multiple variables in a single, in a GDoc, in a Google slide. in a spreadsheet. You cannot single variable test a drive stack and say it doesn't work. It won't work for you, you idiot, because that's not the way it works. It doesn't work through a single variable. Now, what we've done in the past, as I said, we've taken just a folder with a keyword, and it's ranked. It ranked in less than a minute. We did the same with GDocs and slides and all of that. Now, that could be considered a single variable, but there are multiple variables working within the drive stack. Now, if you tell me we did regression analysis on a drive stack and we're able to determine that because of, and then you name where you regressed it to and what caused it to fail, then you have a good test. Until then, fuck you. I needed to get that out of the way.
Good point number one. Fuck you.
I needed to get that out of the way because people say, oh yeah, I tested it and it doesn't work. I'm sorry, you didn't test it right. I can go in and I can tear it down and I can tell you why it's not working. If you're pushing to a GMB, for example, I can tell you why it's not working. If you're pushing to Google Post, if you're pushing to the website, if you're only using the drive stack with the home page and the announcement pages to try to push a silo, and you're not working a silo inside the drive stack, again, I'm going to show how that's done in a little bit, then it's not going to work. If you got link building and you didn't get it from Dedia, then I don't know what your link builder did. If you go and we've been able to get Fiverr gigs, guys, and this is one of the things that I'm going to reveal today, is the 1 million link test, and I'm going to show you live how it's still working in a major metropolitan area for a very competitive niche. So it's not as if we just went after something, Johnny eats apples after breakfast every day at 5 p.m. and then he goes to bed. That kind of keyword, or something made up, right? Some gobbledygookity, whatever, which anybody can rank. All right, no, we didn't go and do that. I want to show you that it was a test, and we finally got permission from the guy who owns it to go and show it. And this is the first time that it's going to be shown publicly. We've shown Bradley's test, the Virginia SEO. That one is alive and well. And I think we showed, Rob showed another one, and I'm not sure what that one was. But anyway, first of all, what is RYS Academy Reloaded, for those of you who don't know? And it's funny because someone in our mastermind posted an email they got from someone that, today, right now, they're just discovering how to use Google properties against Google. Now, this is supposed to be an authority on link building. This is supposed to be just a major breakthrough and innovation, except that it comes about 6 years after I started researching, and 5 years after Dr. Gary and I went in the lab, 4 years nearly since the original release of RYS Academy, and 2 years since the release of RYS Academy Reloaded. So somebody should go and tell that master link builder or whatever the fuck he is, he's a little bit late, day late and a dollar short, because we've been manipulating Google to rank in Google for years. Bradley can go back to, what was it, May
of 2015.
May. I mean, we'll show, you guys have seen that. I'm not going to show that again.
Years.
Yeah, but I'm going to show something a little bit different. Anyway, what it isn't, it's not a magic pill. We don't sell bullshit. We don't sell snake oil. It's not something where you won't have to put in work. If you're an RYS Academy Reloaded, you should be working a ton, or better yet, you should have a VA that's doing the work for you so that you don't have to. Because as we always say, your time is better spent somewhere else, like making money for your company. Right? You let the VAs, or the people that you hire and train, do the grunt work for you, so that you can concentrate on working on your business rather than working in your business. That's one of Bradley's favorite phrases, right? You need to free yourself up so you can go and deal with clients, prospect for clients, go close deals, go on vacation. I mean, I haven't taken a vacation in forever, not because I don't have the money to take it, but because I spend just way too much fucking time trying to track down Google, seeing what they're doing, and then just trying to break shit. As a matter of fact, and my partners know this, we went back in the lab about a month ago, and I don't know what it's going to be yet, but the anniversary of RYS Academy Reloaded and RYS Academy is coming up in August, and we have to have something just really crucial, and that'll blow shit out of the water, right? The original RYS Academy, it changed the way that SEO is done, because nobody had ever gone into Google and manipulated Google to the point or to the extent that we're manipulating it, where we're using everything that's Google to get love from Google, right? Maybe the original idea of because we saw Google Docs ranking, we saw somebody doing it. So the idea wasn't original, but when we started seeing that, we just started, Doc and I said, what else can we do? And so RYS Academy was born out of just simple manipulation. Well, if that can happen, then what if we do this? That's what the whole point of being in the RYS lab, that's what it was about, right? Okay, so the first thing that I'd like to tell you about our drive stacks and RYS and G sites is ART, activity, relevance, trust, and authority. You've heard, you should be sick of hearing me talk about this, but you should be sick of it because you're doing it. You're getting activity on your links, destination and source. You should know that destination and source should be relevant to each other, and everything attached to those points should be relevant. You should know that. I shouldn't have to tell you. Trust and authority. You should be entrusted in authoritative Web 2.0s and social points where people gather, because those have inherent trust and authority. And what is more trusted than Google? Google does not trust anything else more than it does Google. And that's another thing that we showed I think we showed it in the, yeah, we showed that for free, Bradley, in the launch, in the launch party for RYS Academy Reloaded. We used a GDoc, right? Since that's public, I can say it. We used the GDoc for for Google Ads, and it was approved immediately. No TOS, no content, no, just a title on the Google Doc, and it was perfectly fine to use an ad. So if Google trusts itself to that extent, imagine how much more trust and authority you can get by living in the Google ecosystem. Now, let me also add, while I'm doing this talk about art, and this comes back again from another chat in our mastermind, where people are kind of worried about using our methods and targeting their money site. But guys, when you, I call it the SEO shield. Those of you who have seen me post know that a drive stack and G site to me is mandatory. It's standard operating procedure. It's like what I used to talk about IFTTT. That's another one. If my dog sits still long enough, he gets an IFTTT ring around his neck. I mean, that's how much I believe in Syndication Academy, and that's how much I believe in RYS Academy. It's part of the process. And they form actually I guess we could call it a symbiotic relationship where they feed off each other and they boost the entity. And what's the semantic web about if not entities? Remember, things, not strings. Before, we were going after keywords, and then Google comes out and they say, oh, you know what? It's things, not strings. What'd that mean? Later we came to know, well, it's the entity that they want to know, and everything that's related to the entity. And do you realize how much relevance to the entity you can create inside RYS Academy? We even showed how to get schema into the damn G site in RYS, in a webinar in RYS Academy Reloaded. Rob gave that away as a bonus. Rob showed that. Guys, all of this together, bringing together your entity to the point where it not only validates, but it solidifies in the semantic web so that Google knows what your thing on the web is about. And then you pound this entity with activity, relevance, trust, and authority. And everything is measured through links. What kind of links? Well, again, relevant. Links that are relevant, links that have activity, and links that are on trusted and authoritative websites. No follow does carry weight, but the ones that we want are do follow links. For our intents and purposes, we want do follow links to our drive stack and into our G site. But we know that many of these websites will not give us a do follow link. So what do? We force them to give us one by using iframes. The whole concept of RYS Academy and RYS Academy Reloaded is using the power of iframes, this quality that they have of being do follow, but not do follow, because the actual iframe link or code isn't counted against your link profile. You're not going to get a ton of do follow links. Well, let me qualify that. Google will go out 3, 4, and even 5 tiers out wherever that iframe is embedded, because that's what you do. You embed the code so that the source page displays on the destination page. That's all it is. Think of it as a tunnel where you're simply coding it to show that section of the page that you want, which is your stuff, not somebody else's shit, because this is Rank Your Shit Academy. It's not rank somebody else's shit. Now what happens is the iframe will start a power push to itself, of course, because it's a source. But because of the nature of the iframe and because of the nature of how Google views these iframes, the juice flows back and forth. And you've heard me talk about the endless mirror. Other people are now talking about it, right? They're taking my shit and they're showing it to you, and you guys are falling for it. You guys are falling for somebody else giving you my shit when you have the original. Wayne Clayton, if you're on, Wayne Clayton is the one who said, often imitated, never duplicated. And let me tell you why. When you see the amount of effort that goes into creating these G sites and drive stacks, and you realize how ridiculous it is, it's anywhere from 4 to 8 man hours that it takes to build a drive stack, then you'll know that no matter how much you try to copy it, no matter how much you try to automate it, you're never going to get the same effect unless you go in manually and add all of the elements that we teach you to add. What does this all do? Well, it's part of art, activity, relevance, trust, and authority. You're creating all of these relationships to the entity for the semantic web so that, okay, so you have structured data, which is code, right? And unstructured data, which is content. It's very simple if you look at it that way. Content on your website, unstructured data. Structured data is coded for the bot to understand. We want the bot to be kept at the structured data level. We don't want it coming up at the unstructured data level and having to look through the content and guess what the fuck this is about. Why? Because Google takes your structure, it takes information from your structured data and uses it. Not necessarily as keywords, let's say, although it has to use that, convert it to computer language, and then try to match it up to everything else that it knows, so that it can say, okay, this result is better than this one because I was provided a whole lot more structured data from them than I did from this. If they can match up a query through structured data, believe me, they will. And as I said before, it's one of the things that Rob gave away. He showed how to get structured data onto the G site although you cannot manipulate structured data on a G site because we don't have access to the source code. So that's one of the, that's a true fucking ninja, by the way. And I'm sorry that he's not here. Rob, if you're listening, fucking big ups to you. We're in the lab all the time. I know how your mind operates. And that's some ninja shit. Not the bullshit that you guys are getting. Well, I guess by extension or by osmosis, you're getting ninja shit because you're getting our shit from somebody else, right? At any rate, what's happening is you're creating so much activity, relevance, trust, and authority that Google takes you as an authority. And if you ever read my blog post about the Google dance and the distance graph, then you know that the closer you are to trust and authority, the more likely it is that your website will be taken as either a seed site or part of a seed set. What does that mean? A seed site is the authority in a niche, and seed sets feed that authority. So no matter where you are, the closer that you are connected to that seed site, and the more that you can build seed sets, which you can do with RYS Academy Reloaded, then the more power that you're going to push. Now here it is. We can use just a G site to rank and to get leads and to get action and to get conversions and all of that. But most of you don't want to do that. Most of you want to push power over to your client site. Let's say for those of you who work clients, as you know, or if you don't, then you get to hear, I hate working with clients. They're a pain in the ass. You got to pay me a whole lot of money to be my client. And if you start being a pain in the ass, you're very likely to be fired. As a matter of fact, I fired more clients than what I tend to keep. It's just, to me, it becomes a bother because they drain so much time from me. I don't take, by the way, low-paying clients, and I know that some of you have to, but POFU, or what we call, I'm sorry, what John Goodman calls position of fuck you, is where we teach you how to get better paying clients so that you can fire those pain in the ass clients that want you to do $10,000 worth of work for $500. We teach you, I mean, we give you all of the tools. You have everything in your arsenal, including what today's webinar is about, which is RYS Academy Reloaded, so that you can work on your path to POFU. Whatever your POFU is, whether it's 10K a month, 20K a month, $1 million a year, wherever you want to get, it's up to you on how far you want to go on your path to POFU, so that you can finally say, when idiot client starts getting out of hand, man, fuck you. You're fired. I don't want to deal with you. Take your $500 and give it to somebody else. I don't need it. I don't need the grievance. I know Bradley's a little bit more, what do you call it? I guess nicer.
Tolerant.
Yeah, you could say it that way. Diplomatic is the word that I'm looking for. Bradley's much more diplomatic at almost every time than I am, because I'm always like, fuck him, fire him, fuck him, get rid of him. That's my attitude, because we don't need it. So that's where we want you guys to be, and you know, this is one of the ways. RYS Academy Reloaded. One of the questions that we were asked originally, and I don't know if you remember, Bradley, is, okay, how long will it take Google to close a loophole? Who cares? You could have been doing this for 4 years already and making money. Instead, you worried about the loophole, or whether Google was going to close a loophole. You let Google get to you. You let them scare you. And so where are you now? All right. So let me get back on point, right? Because I want to tell you how to get the most out of a drive stack. And if you've never done it before, the best thing that you can do is you have to do great market and competition research and great keyword analysis. Now, this is covered in our battle plan, right? If you don't already have it, then I suggest that you go and get our battle plan so that you have a step-by-step method on how you can get started making money relatively simply on the web. And if you really want to take things a long way, then to me, there's no better training, and I know Bradley will agree, than SEO Bootcamp, Ultimate SEO Bootcamp by Jeffrey Smith. He goes over on-page SEO in detail and in such a way that you can get results simply from applying SEO Bootcamp and applying his methodology. But then comes the twist. What if you set this up right, and you're already in the low to mid competition keyword range, right? But you want more. So now you take your RYS Academy Reloaded, your Drive Stack and G-Site, and you point it at this thing that already has the juice flowing the way that you want, and you hit it. You hit it with press releases and a press release stack, and you hit it with a Drive Stack and G-Site, and then you hit all that with link building. Now, mind you, you haven't touched the money site. The only thing that you did on the money site was you did proper on-page SEO. And boom, all of the power that's going to flow is going to take you from low, medium, and medium to medium, high, and even some of the toughest keywords are available to you if you apply the methods correctly. Now, you can decide not to invest in the SEO battle plan and in SEO bootcamp, but you're still going to need to know how to analyze your market. You want to know what your competitors are doing, and you want to know how they're doing it. So you have to figure out a way to do that. Guys, it's not magic. It takes work. Anyone who tells you that it doesn't take work to do any of these things is full of shit. I'm working on a tool right now to make everything a whole lot easier. I don't know if it'll ever become public, but that's one of those things where I can honestly say it takes the work out of it, but you have no idea how much work has gone, and money, by the way, because I have 2 programmers working on this. You have no idea how much time, effort, and money it takes to get a tool like this out on the market. Because I wouldn't put a tool out that doesn't work, or that half-asses it, or that doesn't deliver as promised. At any rate, my point is you have to have a way. If you're not going to do the Ultimate SEO Bootcamp by Jeffrey Smith, if you're not going to buy the battle plan, then you have to find a way. You have to have a process. You have to have a system. Because if you don't have a system, then you're just helter-skelter, and the likelihood of you succeeding is very low.
Yeah, let me jump in on that for a minute, because think about it. Guys, I know from in my, many years ago when I was doing SEO for clients and stuff, I didn't have a process down for how to get results, right? I mean, I was always able to get results, or 90% of the time able to get results, but it was always starting from scratch each time, because I didn't document like what worked. And that's part of the reason we came up with a battle plan, because those are like a step-by-step procedure to get results for either new or existing websites, local or not. It doesn't matter. It's like the same type of processes that we use. A lot of those standard operating procedures in the order that we recommend them are because of what, I've developed and, we have developed over time, documented to see what had worked. And that's really what Marco is getting at is, if you find a process that works, if you're always starting from scratch and just, you don't know how to put things together the correct way to always get consistent or repeatable results, then it's almost like starting from scratch every time. And it takes an enormous amount of time. It's a lot easier to streamline a business if you create a process out of it. And if I do this first and then this and then this, and you kind of know what the time frame is, that's going to vary depending on competition levels and such like that, but you still understand which order in which to do things. And that's part of the reason why, we're talking about best practices for RYS drive stacks today. And then we're going to work syndication networks into that, because again, this is covered in the battle plan, is we talk about how one of the first things you should get is a syndication network. Then, publish some content, get some seed posts out there, then order some link building, order a drive stack. Drive stacks take at least 3 weeks to really start to show any effect. If you hit them with link building afterwards, it works really well. Marco is going to talk about how to, theme mirroring and things like that. So that's something that we don't do for you in MGYB, but if you order the base drive stack with the Google site and all of that, and then you can go in, or your VA, which is what we recommend, goes in and actually creates the theme mirroring folders. So the folders that mirror your silos on your website. These are all the things that need to be done in order to get results. But if you just play with it every time, instead of creating a process out of it, it's going to be like you're starting over from scratch every time. And it's incredibly time consuming. And it's also frustrating to not know whether or not, you don't have confidence if you don't know which recipe works the best, if that makes sense. So that's why, again, we talk about what we do in the battle plan to give you guys kind of a step-by-step, but there's a lot more that can go into every one of those steps that can get more power out of them. It's part of the reason we're here now. So Marco, back to you, man.
All right. Thanks for that. Let me think about it. What if every time you learn to ride a bicycle, right, and you got fairly competent at it, the moment that you put it down, you had to learn how to ride it again, and you had to go through the bumps and the bruises, or just anything else, learning how to drive. If every time you got behind the wheel, you had to learn to drive again, it gets confusing, it gets frustrating, there's a lot of pressure. Now, there's a ton of pressure when your client is telling you, what's going on? How come I haven't seen anything? How come, this is lagging? How come? And this is why most SEOs fail, guys. Most people in our business don't stay on long enough to see the success that they should. And anybody that comes on unless you can't get behind a computer, you don't even know how to find the keys on the keyboard. Other than that, anybody can get results. I've always said that ranking is the easiest part, but you have to have a method. You have to have a process, because if you don't, then you're learning it over and over and over again, and eventually you're gonna say, "No, I can't do this shit." And I've seen it time after time. I talk to people all the time. I'm in consultations. I've said this before. That my main source of income is consultations with people. And the one thing that I get time and again is I can't repeat my results. And so, some clients I'm doing okay, and some I don't know what's going on. Well, you don't have a process. If you don't have a process, how do you know what to do to get those results? The battle plan is a step-by-step method, and it includes what we're talking about today. It includes our drive stacks and the G site. I mean, to me, it's mandatory. I can't say enough about the power that you can generate from a drive stack. And another thing that I'm asked often, isn't a drive stack enough? Well, again, anything online is usually an "it depends" question, and this is one of those where it depends. Sometimes you do a drive stack and G site, and that's enough to rank the G site. Oftentimes, it's going to take a press release stack, right? And sometimes that's not enough. You might need to do link building into the press release stack. That press release stack might have to be pushed into an drive stack plus G site. It depends on the competition. It depends on the market. It depends on the niche. It depends on a ton of variables. And anyone who can tell you that you can do the same basic thing to everything and get results doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. I mean, Syndication Academy is good to get started. It's good to get your entity going. But if you don't have the schema on the website, then you're not directing the bot to everything else that you have on the web that's your thing. And so if you're not doing that, then you're missing a big piece of the puzzle. And if you just have that, if you just have the Syndication Academy network, and you have your schema together, and you're syndicating content once every 2 months. Well, no. Some require, once a week. Some niches require every day. Some niches require multiple times a day, and some don't require all that much. It all depends. If you're in a hyper competitive niche, attorneys, finance, insurance, there's quite a few. If you're in the high ticket items where everyone is there, then you're going to need more than just a branded stack and G site. I mean, that's just common sense. We had, do you remember? Oh, what was his name? Kamar. I can't remember his name in Toronto. Hey, I built a syndication academy network, and I'm trying to rank for DUI attorney plus city, and I'm not seeing any results. And it's already been 2 weeks.
Yeah, he said I published 2 posts and I'm not ranked on page 1 for DUI attorney Toronto or whatever. He said this shit doesn't work. That was funny. But yeah, Marco, we're I don't know how long you wanted to go today, but if it was just an hour, we've only got about 20 minutes. I was wondering if we're going to get into like the actual like linear process of which you suggest.
I'm going to that.
Okay.
That's next. But guys, when you order a drive stack plus G site from MGYB.co, you're going to get a user's guide that I'm about to update that tells you a step-by-step process on what to do with drive stacks plus G sites. Now, it's not all-encompassing because I can't share things that people have paid for, right? We have a paid group. We have people who have paid a lot of money for RYS Academy Reloaded, and so there's a cutoff point where I just cannot share a lot of the things that are mentioned in RYS Academy Reloaded, and I can't answer questions as fully because that's a privilege that members have. We're very fond of saying that membership has its privileges, and we try to abide by that. So without further ado, and since I have it open, let me just go in and show. Let me share my screen.
All right.
Let me know when you can see it.
I can see it.
All right, guys. This is the Semantic Mastery G site. Please, by all means, go spam it. Please, go ahead. Hit it with link building, porn link, whatever you want. I don't give a shit. Thank you. I'll say thank you when you're done. This is what it looks like, right? And then we have the script that runs, and it lists the announcement pages. And this is, and the entire build is torn down at intervals, right? You set the interval. I think this is every 8 hours, if not every couple of days. Whatever the interval you set, it tears it all down and it builds it back up, right? One of the things that makes this so good is that it does this. So every time the bot comes, there's fresh, unique, relevant content that's updated on a regular basis, although you're feeding it the same shit over and over and over again. Let's go into the drive stack. This is the actual drive stack. And guys, when you see other people pushing their bullshit, just take a look at the work that they do. Let me see if this is that's the PDFs. Each one of these PDFs, of course, has link building, right? And it should have embeds. Also, images that are linked to the destination. Let me go back. That wasn't it. Okay, articles. If I go in here, right, so again, this is fully done. It's going to be seen as spam by you, but the bot just eats this up. I mean, I can't tell you how much the bot likes getting all of this information, all of this relevant information. It's getting it from itself. I mean, that's the great part about this. The bot gets this from itself. This is how we build them, guys. Now, this is about adding power, how to add power to a drive stack plus DSAC, right? How to make it better. Well, let's say, and we're in SEO, right? Semantic Mastery, of course, is online marketing, SEO, and I've started the folder already, so it could be quick. Let's say that one of the things that you wanted to target was video SEO, and on your website, one of the silos, which is something that I'm working on in our Semantic Mastery website for the next 90 days, is properly connecting the Semantic Mastery website so that we have proper silos. Something that we haven't done, but something that will be done. But let's say that now your target is video SEO. Well, if the silo is on your page, you're going to come in here to your drive stack, and you're going to build a folder. You're going to click New, Folder, and you're going to title it the top market level keyword, video SEO. Now, I understand that under video SEO, there are a whole bunch of things that you can do. YouTube SEO is one of, so you'd go in here, and in here, all of the things that are contained in this folder, all of these files, all of these GDocs are going to go in here, but they're going to be about video SEO, nothing else. You're not going to include it. Don't include the company information. The bot already has it. Don't include location. The bot already has it. This is video SEO. All right. You're going to come down and fill this up with video SEO. Your keyword research is going to be about video SEO. So every one of your silos, this one happens to be video SEO. What if we want to do local marketing, let's say? Well, we'd come to the top level, click New, and we'd start a local marketing folder where everything in here is going to be about local marketing. All of the files, folders. Now, what you can do with your files and folders is you can name it. You have your top level, what Jeffrey Smith, I think, calls it the top market level keyword. But you're going to have under that subcategories, which aren't, they are supporting, but they're broad enough so that they can get their own silo, their own stack. And so you can, in local marketing, if you have those, then you can add those folders in here. And I'm just going to name it Untitled Folder, but it could be
like lead generation and
yeah,
local or maps SEO or something like that, right?
Right. Sorry. Let me remove that. Okay, so what happened? Here we go.
I don't know what the fuck does bin mean. Oh, bin is trash.
It's in the trash.
Restore it.
Yeah, let me restore it.
There you go.
Let me restore it and rename. So we said lead gen.
Yep.
Yeah, you can repeat the local, right?
Yeah, because just to clarify, guys, these are Google stacks, so that's not the same as like how you don't on a website. You guys know you don't want to keep repeating the keywords as you go further into the silo. Like if it's a top level category keyword, it doesn't need to be repeated in the subcategory, right? You guys understand that, because then it duplicates it in the URL if you're using the physical silo structure or the the category / post name URL structure. But in a virtual silo, you wouldn't see it anyways. But if you built your site with proper category hierarchy, the bots will know where the keywords are, and so you don't need to duplicate them. But this is different. These are Google stacks, guys. So you can get away with absolute murder here.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at the, let me see if this is the spreadsheet. If you look at the spreadsheet, right, we recommend, of course, above the fold, right, you have a CTA so that you push all the spam down under. But look, this is all keyword research. How to SEO website link, right? And then more. And then Semantic Mastery SEO marketing, and then more. So look at the amount of keywords that we feed it. and links, and we link the keyword. So we have the keyword, we have the link with the keyword, and then we have the keyword as the anchor text. All right, now for the fun part. Excuse me, let me go back in here. For every folder that you build inside your main stack, you're going to go to your G site and you're going to create a new page. I don't want to do that. I don't want to fuck up the, what do you call it, the script.
Script, yeah.
But you're going to add a new page. So it's going to be site.semantic mastery dot, right? Video SEO, right? And then if you want to link to an inner page, you're going to have to add another page, right? If you're creating subcategories, video SEO, and we said local, right? Just so you have the example, lead gen. So this is what your URL is going to look like. Now, everything inside this video SEO is only going to link to the, I didn't pull up the Semantic Mastery website, but let's pull that up. It's going to link to our Semantic Mastery website video SEO page and nothing else, because we want the power push there. We don't want it going helter-skelter everywhere. Now we're refining it. Now we're aiming it, right? We're getting that laser target. Video goes to video. And if there's a lead gen inside, then that lead gen is going to go only to your lead gen page on the website. I want to be clear, guys. Ask questions in the page if you're not clear about this, and I'll try to clarify it. But I hope this was clear, because it's very simple, but I can tell you it's very time consuming. Why? Because each one of these that you build is going to require all of these files and these folders with PDFs, with content, with images. But it has to be relevant. We want to keep the relevance. It has to be relevant to video. It has to be relevant to local marketing. In local marketing, it has to be relevant to lead gen. It has to be relevant to whatever else is under that local marketing niche. And then, go ahead.
So I want to add to this, because, and I want to make sure, I want you to clarify whether this is wrong or not to tell them. But so guys, not only would you want and that, again, that's the whole theme mirroring concept, right? So you're mirroring what your silo structure is on your website into the Drive stack, and then also you're duplicating it onto the G site. And so anywhere that the files within, so let's say that you've got top level category, subcategory, and then posts. Your posts being your supporting articles on your website, right? That's typical. That's how you would set up a silo. Then you would do the same thing in the Drive stack with folders, subfolders, and then files, individual files, and then you would do the same thing with pages on the G site. What Marco's saying is, for example, under local marketing being top level category, lead generation being a subcategory, then all the files within that folder would point to the lead generation silo supporting posts,
right?
As well as you could literally point to, like, if you're putting lead generation in as even like tags, for example, in your posts on your website, you could point to that tag page. Is that correct?
Yeah, but let me give you a little bit more. We've had an ongoing discussion about the way to set up silos in the mastermind. I'm not going to talk about it here, but imagine if you had your silo set up the way that I'm showing in the mastermind, right? So this is a silo within a silo. This is that lead gen, local lead gen page, right, with supporting. And if your silo is set up correctly and linked correctly on the website, then the power is going to flow no matter where you connect it. You could connect it to one of the supporting articles, and it's going to flow correctly. Or you could connect it to the top, it would be the top level category, which in this case is local lead gen, and it would still flow correctly. And I hope that that's making really good sense to everyone. That's why it's so important to set up your silos from the start. People are saying that silos no longer work. They're full of shit too. They work perfectly well, especially when you set them up the way that we're teaching or starting to teach inside the mastermind. We hadn't said it before, because really when you're pushing power, art will trump anything. But you have to push so much, you have to do so much work that it sometimes becomes it's not cost effective. Maybe your client isn't paying enough for you to get the money from the client to pay for everything you need. And so you just go on site, you set up everything correctly, and then what your G site and drive set become are simple silo feeders. They power up your silo. They send the relevance, they send the linking. When you push your press releases about local lead gen, press release stack, it's the power is going to flow the right way. When you hit it with link building, which should be everything, and then you would just need to talk to Dedia and tell him, well, this is video SEO, this is local marketing, this is whatever, and he'll know. Then that's what he'll concentrate on. And so everything is going to be relevant, and is going to be trusted and authoritative. And then the last part, I would totally go with Bradley's YouTube ads training. You could hire a Fiverr gig. I'm going to show you, and do this, or you could just go with total GSA spam and power this up to where you're going to get results. And let me do this, because I've been itching to do this. We've been talking about it, and we hadn't shown it, and I am going to show it.
Yeah, just in case people don't know what he's talking about when it comes to the YouTube ads training, guys, you can send traffic from YouTube to a Google file or to a Google Drive stack file or a folder if you wanted. It's crazy, but you can literally, with a link click from YouTube or from Google Ads, period, have people click through to an actual doc or file or folder. And so there you're getting traffic signals. You can actually buy traffic signals directly from Google.
All right, can you see my screen?
Yes.
And you see that I'm not signed in.
Correct.
Right? All right. And my cache is clear. So it's not going to take a previous search that I did, but let's go with DC plumber. I would say that's a top level category, isn't it?
Fuck yeah, that's a very competitive keyword at that level.
At that level, it's extremely competitive. We can agree on that, right?
Yes.
And we can agree that Washington, D.C. is a major metropolitan area, right?
Very competitive, yes.
All right, so DC Plumber. And by the way, just so you know, it's DC Plumber LLC. Plumber in DC is also one that we did. This one we hadn't talked about. But these two interchange. Now one goes to a top level domain, right? And look at that. It's an EMD, plumberindc.com. And this one is DC Plumber. Look at the website. Can you see that, the bottom left of my screen?
Yeah, it's a G site. It's
a G site. We used a G site for this test. We sent 1 million spam links, guys. We sent 1 million. It turned out to be over 1 million to this Drive Stack plus G site, and got these results. Why? Because Google trusts itself. We know, or we knew, that we could get away with this. But look at what's also ranking in here.
Yeah, and that's even above the maps, the exact match domain, EMD.
Yeah, and but then the EMD is still there.
Yeah.
Both of these are our tests, guys. Plumber and DC Plumber. And look who we're ranking.
Look at the number of views that dude has too.
Look at who we are outranking. Now you'd say this is the trusted, authoritative website on the niche, right? Roto-Rooter, because they get everything from the root. Well, fuck no. Look, it's Roto-Rooter and then an inner page on the Roto-Rooter domain, and we're outranking it with a G site and with an EMD. Don't tell me this shit doesn't work. Show me this shit doesn't work like I'm showing you the fucker works. Please. And I'm showing you because I welcome spam. Come, spam. Do whatever you must, because it's only going to make it rank better. I can guarantee you that. And with that, did you have something that you wanted to add to this, Bradley?
No, I mean we've got some questions coming in, but yeah. So guys, the point here is that not that you have to have your G site as your primary site. That's not the point. You can push the relevancy wherever you want to your own self-hosted domain. It depends on depends on where you want to push the authority, right? So you can get away with just spamming drive stack or G site, that kind of stuff, and get results, or you can use those as your tier 1 properties that link to the money site and push all that relevancy and authority to your self-hosted site is the point. So just because I know a lot of people are going to say, well, does that mean we have to use a G site now as our primary domain? No, not at all. You don't have to do that at all. I mean, you can, in my opinion, you can get sometimes faster results that way, but you can still push it to a self-hosted domain. Marco, do you want to take a look at the questions? We're actually just at the 4 o'clock mark. So
yeah, hang on a second. I can stay a little bit longer. This is an EMD, plumber in DC.
Right.
And on this guy on the G site, don't tell me that they don't convert. First of all, the guy took one of his phones off the hook because he was getting too many calls. Now, who doesn't want that kind of action for their client, right? The guy said, "Look, guys, can you slow this down?" No. Okay, I had to take one of my phones off the hook because I'm getting too many calls. Just this last month, I can't remember what the call volume was. Rob told me, but it was in passing, and I'm not gonna say a number that isn't true. I don't like doing that. But he's still getting a ton of calls to this day, and nothing has been done to DC Plumber LLC for 2 years, ever since that what do you call it, that link building test. That's all that was done. That's it. Let's go to questions.
All right. Are you going to pull up the page, or there you got it? All right, cool.
I have it. Where's the first question?
I would say probably RB asked about adding a big list of keywords, but we already answered that when we showed the Drive, the Google Sheets with all the keywords listed. So I would say first one would be probably Shonda Rogers says, is it important to use old G sites versus new ones?
No, I think, let me go back. No, I don't have it, but I think that DC Plumber LLC is on a new G site, so they both work just as well.
Yeah, but the script doesn't run on the new ones, right?
The script doesn't run, but you can still use it. I mean, there's tons of power, especially for mobile, in the new.
But what can you build on the script and everything out on the old site, and then also have a new site and push power to the new site from the old site?
It's what we do.
Okay.
We build the classic, and we say, click here for a better mobile experience. You see that? And then it goes over to the new.
Well, there you go. See, I don't build these damn things. so I'm not sure even what you guys are doing on that end. All right, so the next question then would be, Pete says, only add links from the G site page to the corresponding money site page. So in the silo structure, that's the point, right? So you want a theme mirror, and you want to keep your linking structure from each, whether it's drive stack files or G site pages, you want to keep them linking only over to those corresponding pages on the silo on the website, and so that you're pushing all that relevancy from that drive stack folder, as well as from the page on the G site to that one specific point within in the website. Does that make sense? Marco, can you confirm?
No. I totally agree. Keep your. That's what the discussion in the mastermind was. How do we link and all that? And my answer was always, keep your silos tight. As long as your silos are tight and you're copying the silos on the G site, then you're only going to link silo to silo, so that both the the drive stack silo and G site page are linked to the silo on the money site, those who have a money site or GMB or whatever, and it's all kept relevant to that silo, right? So we're taking Bruce Clay's silo methodology and taking it just a step further. By the way, Bruce Clay is awesome. You guys who haven't read his silo methodology and his silo structuring, it's must reading as far as I'm concerned. You have to read it.
Dean asks, can you copy a full folder of files into the new top level drive folder and then edit the files with the new relevant keyword research in the copy so that it's not duplicate for the purpose of saving time?
Yes, and you can edit, and we gave that away during my charity drive. I did a series of 3 webinars. So Dean, if let me I'll post the donation link in here, guys. I don't know. Now I forgot how to post. Here we go. Is HTTPS and .org/donations, I believe it is. Make a donation. Write to write to support@semanticmastery.com and show proof of donation, and those scripts will be given to you, as will the 3 webinars. So that's my answer for Dean. Yes, you can do all that, and we made the scripts available.
Very cool. Arby says, for local lead gen, do you prefer to have the ultimate lead opt-in on the client site or your own website or on the Google property? Well, again, if your primary asset is going to be a self-hosted website, then you're going to want to build it to where you're pushing all of the authority to your self-hosted website, which should be a lead generation style landing page, right? One that has the call to action very strong. It'll capture the leads. It's got the tap to call button, all that kind of traditional lead generation type stuff. However, that said, you still want to make it easy for people to contact you if they were to land on any one of your other assets. You still want your primary asset to be the primary thing that you promote. However, if you have a Google site, you want to set that up to where it looks good. That's what the new Google sites actually can look really, really good. But you want to have, that's why Marco was showing above the fold. You want to put a strong call to action above the fold for all the files too. Then you put all the additional SEO stuff underneath the fold that gives it its power. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Next question from Arby says, better to have the traffic link into the drive stack or the G site? All of the above, right? The whole point is art, activity, relevancy, trust, and authority. If you're providing that activity to tier 1 links or even beyond, but we're talking about tier 1 right now, anything that's a tier 1 link that's linking directly to your primary asset, you want to push activity into, right? Which you can do. You can buy Google clicks directly from Google to Google properties. Does that make sense? And so you can do it with YouTube ads, which is incredibly cheap. Just keep in mind that you don't get a lot of clicks from YouTube ads. You get a lot of views. You have to have a video. You can buy a lot of views, but you typically don't get a lot of clicks from YouTube. But it doesn't take a lot if you've got your targeting, your audience targeting correct. And if you're doing local, you set your geographic targeting properly too, then now you're getting both topical relevance, like an audience that is related to the topic or interested in the topic or product or service that you're promoting, as well as local geographic IP clicks, right? So it's very, very relevant, and you can send clicks directly to your tier 1 Google properties. So that provides that activity that helps to kind of make everything come alive, if that makes sense. So yep. Any one of your tier 1 properties, your Google site, your drive files, folders, whatever.
Well, that's why we put that, an image above the fold and all of the files, right? So that we have CTA, so that we have the phone number prominent, because people will convert, and you should do that on the G side also. You shouldn't ignore it, because if it ranks, people are going to see it, and if it has a CTA, they can take action. You want to have that.
That's right. So RB says, better to have the traffic link. Oh, no, I'm sorry. We just answered that one. So Dean, I guess it'd be next. He says, how many folders in the DC Plumber drive stack?
I'd say go look at it, Dean. Search DC Plumber. It's DC Plumber LLC. When you click over to the G site, you should be able to locate where the folder is, and you can go ahead and reverse engineer and see how it was done.
So Fitz says, if you have your Web 2.0, you gotta stop moving so much, man.
Yeah, sorry.
if you have your Web 2.0 links on the first page of your G site, do you lose power, or do you only want the links going to self-hosted website or Google Maps? Well, that's a good question. I like using it to actually point to all my entities, my tier 1 branded entities. Marco may have a difference of opinion there, but for example, it just like we like to list those in the same as for the structured data, right?
Yep.
So
no, we want them.
But on inner pages, you want to have very targeted linking. But from your home page, that's kind of like a primary page where it's more about, in my opinion, connecting the dots between all the different entity profiles, correct?
Well, it doesn't have to be on the page. It could be iframe. If you put them on the spreadsheet, then you have the spreadsheet iframe on the home page, and that has the same effect.
Yep. That's true. All right, so the next one is Pete. He said, would you interlink between each folder within a silo and a category on the stack and the G site?
No, because the folder will carry the main folder will carry all of the relevance that you need. There's no need to link. Let me see. Let me read that again. Would you interlink between each folder within a silo in a category on the stack and G site? Yeah, you link up. No, because it's embedded. It's going to be iframed into that page, right? All of those files and folders.
Yeah.
So there's no need to link up to your G site page, although you can. Test it and see which one works best. I wouldn't, because you iframe it and you get the same power. Then when you're link building, you're gonna get that effect of it going back and forth, right? The mirror effect, and then it's going to carry over to the silo on your money site.
Yeah. Also, guys, just because I think I skipped over this with the question about having your social media properties and such on the page. Guys, that's part of what I was talking about at the beginning of the webinar, where how you can use drive stacks to power up syndication networks and syndication networks to power up drive stacks, right? So when you order a drive stack, guys, you should be including in your order the links to all of your syndication network properties, all your branded tier 1 properties. And if you have more branded properties other than just what's in the syndication network, include those also, because those will all get added to those spreadsheets and they'll get linked to from the various files, like not all in every file. But what happens is when the drive stacks are being built, the keywords that will get hot linked to individual profiles and properties, branded properties that you have provided when you ordered them. So don't just provide your top level website. You want to include as many branded properties as you have. Like, for example, syndication network properties, press advantage organization pages if you have that, or other organization type pages or media room pages from other networks, or press release sites if you're using them. Top level citations, if it's for local, you want to include those as well. YouTube channel, all these different things that you want to put into your actual drive files when you place the order, or if you're building them yourself, which God forbid, it takes too long. But when you're ordering all that, you want all that stuff in there, because that essentially you're going to get to power everything up through the drive stacks and vice versa. That said, guys, think about it. You could go through some of your syndication network properties and create posts. I did this. I mean, for example, if you do the search for SEO Virginia or Virginia SEO or SEO Agency Virginia, that kind of stuff, and you take a look, a WordPress.com page from bradleybenner.wordpress.com is ranking for all of those too. And all I did was went and took my drive files from that particular stack that I built, the first one I ever built, and I embedded those into my syndication network properties. So you can do the same thing. You can take your drive folders and files and create posts within your syndication network properties that then will also rank. So my point is you can use both of them together to help power each other up.
Yep. Totally agreed.
Okay. So I guess that's it for questions, which is cool. We can wrap it up.
We have a couple more.
Oh, we have a few more. Okay, cool.
Yeah, someone's asking if this would ever get patched. Who cares when and if it does, we'll find something else. This same question was asked, will this loophole be closed? That was also asked, 4 years ago, August. And I guess that guy's still waiting for the loophole to close. Guys, don't wait. Just do it. Just do it until you can't do it anymore. And like we always do, when something closes, another door opens, and we'll be in there beating it down and seeing what's behind the door. And then what's this?
Had syndication networks properties built after drive stacks, do we just add them to existing drive stacks? Yeah, you can, because remember, you can go in and edit the files.
Yeah, hang on. Yeah, but you have to go in as the owner of the stack. If you go in as the manager when you edit, you can kill the especially if you add new files and folders, you're gonna kill the script in the original stack. So don't do that. Go in as the owner and make any changes and get out, and then you can do everything through the manager. All right. And there's Greg. What's Greg got?
Greg says, hey guys, timing is great. I'm just getting into new projects using locations geo-related. So is adding inner folders for locations as good as it sounds with locations?
It's good. It's not necessary, but it's good. I mean, Janet was one who took over her whole state with just G sites and drive stacks within drive stacks. And I mean, she was just knocking them dead.
So he asked about running the script with the additional folders. You don't want to overload it though, correct?
All right, here's the secret. I'm going to share a secret with you, Greg, since you have access to the script. Many people don't. All right. If you set the script to run at different intervals, like one runs once a week, another one runs every 6 days, so that they don't run into each other. And this is the key part. So that they don't run at the same time, then you're okay. You can run multiple scripts. However, if at some point your scripts, for whatever reason, come and meet up and run at the same time, Google's going to kill your drive stack.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see the next one. Pum. He says, and one more thing, when buying RYS Reloaded, do I have to pay anything more to build drive stacks, or can someone do it themselves? No, that's the point. If you want to learn how to do it, then you can. It doesn't cost you anything to build them other than time, right?
Right.
So I mean, but that's it's still a good idea to learn all that shit. There's no doubt. But
yeah.
We recommend buying RYS Reloaded so that you understand how to do all the additional things that can be done, but then get the base stacks built by us through MGYB, because that's very, very time consuming. Then you and or your team can go in and add the individual silo structures and all that other stuff that we talk about. See, we can't do that, guys, on our build end for you, because it's way too time consuming, and the amount of data that we would have to get from you guys and have to go look at your websites and do all the theme mirroring and all that kind of stuff. It's just too hard to do. It's too hard for us to provide that as a done for you service. That's why we build the base stacks the way that we know how to give it the most power. And then after we deliver it to you, you and or your team can go in and add the individual silo folders and files, do the interlinking, link up to the pages on the G site that you build specific to your theme mirroring, your silo structures, all of that. So again, yes, RYS Reloaded will teach you how to do all that stuff. We still recommend that you get the base stack built from us so that it saves you a shit ton of time, though.
Or you can go and reverse engineer the Semantic Mastery G stack and learn that way. Yeah, but get one from us. Just get one done. Get it, and you'll get owner privileges, so you can go in and modify and change, and go in there and take a look at everything that was done. You and your team, your VAs, or whomever you're training to do it, so that they learn how to do it properly. So you have 2 ways to do this. The best way to do this is just get one. Even if you don't get the G site, because the G site, the training is shown on how you embed the properties, get content, and add the content, how you run the script. But the drive stack is key because of the way that we set it up. Nobody else is doing it the way that we're doing. And guys, I'm because someone posted this that okay, we get it. You're great and whatever, and stop bashing other people. I'm not bashing others. What I'm bashing is the ethics behind it and the way that they prop themselves up as the creators, as the experts, and they mislead people because they won't work as well as they should. I mean, I 100 to 100 to your dollar that they won't. I'll put mine up against anybody else's, and that's a testament to the work that Jason Jenner does, my VA, not me. I don't do shit.
Yeah.
Dan.
Jason says, I'm fully betting the other webinar posted in Mastermind is good. So that's he was referencing the.
He posted it.
Yeah. So Dan says, if I already have the original RYS program, is there a discount for latest or not so much? Thanks guys for a great training as usual. There was a discount when we launched it to existing owners. I don't know that.
No, it was a massive discount, and I said it would never be available at that price ever again.
Yeah.
And I'm keeping to my word. It's just too much in there. I mean, we're not talking only about the updated training, the update webinars that we've been doing. There's tons of update webinars, the scripts. There's a whole bunch in there that Rob shared. That's just absolutely fantastic.
And we had
and powers it up.
We had the sale last week, or I guess it was
a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, maybe it was 2 weeks ago, but we had the sale last week where we, for a couple of days, I think it was it was half price. So I don't know, maybe if we get enough interest from this webinar specifically, we could open that back up for a day or two. I don't know, guys, if we get enough interest for that, maybe we could do it after this webinar. I mean, it would make sense too, but honestly, we just did that sale like a week and a half ago, which is rare. We never, ever discount that program because of its power. So,
all right. What I would say is if anybody who's looking to get in, write a ticket to support@semanticmastery.com. We get enough people interested, we might be able to work in a discount. I don't know how much, but I don't like doing it for this product simply because of all the work that has gone into the product. It's months and months and months of my time, my personal time, working on Saturdays.
Not only that, but you mentioned at the beginning of this, for those that might have missed it, the RYS Academy and Reloaded anniversary is coming up in August, and we're going to be we're going to have another kind of relaunch or launch of with new and improved stuff then as well, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we're going to add to the training as it is right now. I don't know how much. We're going to simplify a whole bunch of things and maybe make that available. I don't know yet because we're still in the lab. Again, on Saturdays, we're working our butt off to try to improve what's already a great product.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I think we're going to wrap it up.
Yeah.
We're almost at the hour-and-a-half mark, which is a little bit longer than what we had planned, but that's okay, guys. I'm glad that we got to do this because, and you know, in about another month, we're going to select another one of our services from MGYB and do the same thing, dig into it about how to get better results and all that, best practices and stuff like that, because that's really what this is for. We're kind of coupling this with Syndication Academy updates, guys. So just so you know, there's a lot of overlap. That's why, because we use all of our own products in very specific ways, and they all complement each other. For example, we might end up doing next month, because I saw one of the questions was about PR stacks. What is a PR stack?
Yeah.
Well, we may very well end up doing next month about press releases. That said, the press releases we're resellers for Press Advantage inside of MGYB, just so you know. I've been transparent about that since day one. The organization pages are very powerful. In case you weren't aware of this, there's now GMB Google Map embeds available in the press releases themselves, not just in the organization page. You can actually embed a Google Map. You can also embed videos now in the Press Advantage press releases that you can get from us, right? So that can be, you just have to make sure that the URL for the video is one of the URLs in the press release that you order, right? And then we can make that an embed as well. So those are two updates. There's more distribution channels now than there used to be. There's additional features coming, by the way. I'm always on Jeremy, the developer and owner of Press Advantage. We chat often, so there's more stuff coming for that as well. But that said, we've got a couple of other press release providers that we're talking with right now that we're probably going to also bring into MGYB so that there's diversity. We've talked about many times having diversity, so we're going to have additional press release providers in there as well. I don't know when, but soon is all I can say, so that we will have that. So maybe next month we'll talk about press PR stacking, how to do it, like how to get the best results from it on more of a conceptual level or from the done for you services side of things. And then you guys can ask questions about it then. So anything else you want to talk about, Mark?
Yeah, for those people interested, drive stacks, and you can order them from the MGYB.co store. They're available. I mean, and they're built according to the training step by step. I trained the VA myself, and then he trained the team of builders to do it. And it goes through 2 filters. He takes a look at the finished work, and then I go in and give it a quick glance just to make sure that everything is done correctly. Some errors sometimes slip through. If you do come across one of those, then we'll just take it back and fix it for you and push it back out. Yeah. No big deal. But they're available.
Last question. I saw Dan posted a last minute question. He says, when is the next mastermind going to join back up? Thursday, this week.
This Thursday. Yep.
And by the way, just so everyone knows, lately in the mastermind, I'm doing a lot of video stuff for this next quarter, a lot of YouTube ads, as well as video SEO stuff. So I'm going to be doing a lot of training about that. And sharing, results of different experiments and stuff like that. But we're also been covering a lot of member-related questions and issues lately. So in other words, people have come into the mastermind and posted about stuff that they want us to dig into, which is great because it gives us diversity of things to teach about, or to even for us to learn about, really. Because a lot of the times people will start a thread in the mastermind Facebook group that then we suggest, oh yeah, let's dig into this in the next mastermind webinar. And Marco and I get into, look at it ahead of time and we dig into it and that kind of stuff. So we're trying to make, instead of just training in the mastermind, trying to be more interactive with the actual members and tackling problems, like real world problems that are coming up or issues that people are having within the mastermind, which I think everybody can learn from, right? So again, it's another reason why you should come join us. So. All right, let's wrap it up. Almost 4:30. Thanks, Marco, for hanging out. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We'll see you guys next month in the next one.
Bye, everyone.